Welcome to my video. Man, I am stuck here right now. Went to the park, spent an hour jogging. I am tired, came back to my car, and my car is not starting. So basically everything works on the car. The lights come on, the blower motor works, radio works, tried all that, everything works. Doesn't seem to be any issue except when I try to start it, nothing, no crank, nothing at all. So originally I thought, okay, it's probably the battery. I mean, this is not the first time I've had this situation. Had this situation with this car for the last, I'd say, sporadically. Last time it happened was like 3 weeks ago, and then there was another time a month ago. So I'm like, it's the battery. I gotta change the battery. So I turned my headlights on, went out, see if the lights were dim, but they were pretty bright. Those lights were like bright. They're like really bright. So I'm like, all right, is it the battery? Maybe it's not the battery. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Got a power pack, battery pack that I bought from Walmart. It's fully charged, and I bought that because 3 weeks ago I had the same issue, but it worked 3 weeks ago. I was able to get it to crank up and turn over. This time I tried it for about 10 times and nothing happened. So I knew that it's probably not going to start unless I do something. So anyway, I used the battery pack on it, connected it, turn it on, try to crank my car up. Nothing. It was just nothing happened. Man, it's windy out, but nothing happened. So I'm like, oh man, it's not the battery. But I noticed that my terminals were a little bit, there was like corrosion on it, a little bit of corrosion. I didn't clean it up last time, but I did have a little wrench set that I bought. Took it off, pretty much hit it with the wrench a couple of times, the terminal, just to maybe shake a little bit of the corrosion off. Took some paper towel, wiped it a little bit, took a lot of the corrosion off, not most of it, put it back on, try to start it, nothing. Same thing, nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, at this point it's probably not the battery. It's probably not the battery at this point. So I'm like, what else could it be? So my next thought is, could it be the alternator? Not the alternator. Not the alternator, because I've had issues with alternators before. Normally they go out on you while your car is running, while the engine is running. So my car was completely off. I went out jogging for an hour, came back. So my car was not running when this happened. My engine was not running when this happened. So I know it's not the alternator, but even if it was the alternator, me putting the power pack on there would have at least had cranked it up. But once I took the cables off from there, it would have died out, immediately, kind of. But it didn't. It didn't even crank up. So at this point, I'm thinking, it's not the battery. It's not the alternator. What else could it be? So I'm going through the list of things that could cause this to happen. It could be a fuse or a relay. Now, I don't have a fuse tester with me, and testing out a relay is a little bit more complicated. So I had to pretty much deduct by deduction to make sure that it's not one of those things. I mean, I was hoping it was one of those things because it would have been an easy fix for me. I could have called a Uber up, went to AutoZone or whatever, gotten a fuse, a relay, pop it in. But here's the thing. All right, I took out the cover for the fuse box, and the relay, where the relays are, where the fuses are, and I noticed that the starter relay, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't the relay, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the relay, because here's the thing. I hear a click every time I try try to turn it on, turn the car on. I hear a click. So I knew it wasn't the relay at that point, because if you hear a click, normally that's the solenoid of the starter going off. It's just the starter's not running. If you don't hear a click, there's no power going to the starter. But here's the thing. Just to make sure, I actually swapped out the relay. There was another relay on the car that was the same, had the same amp or wattage specs with the same numbers. It was the same relay, similar relay to the star relay. So I swapped them out. I was able to swap them out. Nothing happened. So I knew at that point that it wasn't the relay. Okay. So moving on from that, it's not the relay, it's not the battery, it's not the alternator. What else could it be? I'm thinking to myself, the next thing it could be is a fuse. A fuse. All right, I'm thinking to myself, I can't test out the fuses. All right, I don't have a fuse tester, so like there's a couple of things. There have been at least 2 situations where this situation has come up. All right, where a fuse caused my car not to start. Not this one in particular, but a car that I had previously. All right, those 2 situations where the main fuse popped. All right, a blown main fuse where nothing in the car worked, like no lights on the dash, nothing. It was like absolutely silent, no radio, nothing. You know, all power is cut off as if the cable was taken off the battery. Unfortunately, this is not the case here, because everything works. Like everything works. Anything and everything works. Power windows work. You know, blower motor works. Radio works. Dashboard works. Everything works. Okay, that's not the main problem. It's not the main fuse that's blown. Because if it was the main fuse that's blown, nothing would work, and I would know that that was the case. So, second situation with blown fuse is this. I had a situation where one of the fuses was blown, and you know, the car would crank up, it just wouldn't turn over. It would just crank up, it wouldn't turn over. So, you know, it was a fuse to the fuel pump, I believe. Replaced that, the car started up, no problems. This is not the case. Everything works, but this car is not cranking, so I know that it's not a fuel pump issue. It's not a fuel issue because it's not cranking up. So I was thinking, and I was hoping that it wasn't the starter. Now, the starter would have been my second guess, except I swapped out the starter like about a year ago. I swapped out the starter on this car a year ago. It would have been my second guess, but it was not my second guess because I swapped it a year ago, and I've only put about maybe like 10,000 miles on my car. And it kind of sucks really right now if it is the starter, because I had put money into getting the starter swap out of this car. All right. Now, I got the starter. It was as a remanufactured starter from AutoZone. I'm pretty sure it's still under warranty. Probably a lifetime warranty. I'm not sure. But it's still under warranty, I'm pretty sure. And but that's not the problem. But here's the thing. It seems like it's the starter. Now, I can't exactly test it out. I could try to bump the starter and see if it starts up, or I could connect a line, the positive line from the battery to the solenoid of the starter and see if it works. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. Didn't do that. I'm actually waiting for AAA to come pick up my car. It really does suck at this point because I've been waiting for the last 30-45 minutes for that. But here's the thing. It was a remanufactured starter, and this would be the first time that I've had issues with a remanufactured starter, considering when they fix these starters that are rebuilt, they only fix the part that's broken. I mean, I don't know how they polish off every other part on the car, but they don't change on the starter, but they don't change any other part aside from the part that's broken. But it kind of sucks because I've only put 10,000 miles on my car, and for me to put more money into, more work on another starter to get it changed, it's going to be a pain in the butt. But I'm going to wait for AutoZone, for AAA to get to me, and hopefully when I get back, it's not the starter that's the issue. But at this point, I can't figure anything else that would cause this to happen on my car. But stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna give you guys an update on this. Guess what? It was what I thought it was. I did get my car towed by AAA. It took them 2 hours to get to me, get it towed. I did run some tests on it. I was able to bump it a little bit. I used a long crowbar just to bump it a little bit, and nothing happened. Wasn't able. I was able to get a line to the starter, the solenoid, and see if that did anything. But I did try. I went on YouTube and tried that little test where you could test it out from the relay, and I did that, and it didn't turn on. So I knew it was the starter at that point. I went to AutoZone, got it changed out. I was a little bit peeved, but the starter was free because it was under warranty. Changed it out. I could have gotten a brand new starter instead, but didn't want to shell out $300, $325 for a brand new one, for a brand new starter. So I got another rebuilt starter. Hopefully this starter will last me a lot longer than that other starter did. I'm not sure, but if it doesn't, I'm gonna post another video up because, you know, it's less than a year on that starter, and the money that I shell out on the work alone, you know, that's more than the starter itself. But anyway, if you guys are watching this, hope that this video has helped you out. If you guys want to give me a thumbs up, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and if you guys have any comments, please comment. All right, guys, take care.